Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, para jemaah dirahmati Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Kita mulakan dengan kita memanjatkan kesyukuran kita kepada Allah dapat kita menyambung dalam sesi menjawab ini kemusykilan agama. Dan ini merupakan platform ini yang baru yang kita menamakannya Ask Ustaz sebagai pembaharuan yang dibagi nama ini yang lama, iaitu Ask Ustaz. Dan insya-Allah kita akan melakukan sedikit pembaharuan yang tidak lama lagi. Dan insya-Allah ini tanpa kita buang masa, kita akan masuk ini kepada soalan ini yang pertama yang ditujukan. Soalan ini menanyakan, Ustaz, I'm reaching out to you because my heart is never at ease at home. My mom is very money oriented, very calculative. But what I don't understand is that she will always use the phrase, it's okay, Allah is around, He will punish you. What can I do, Ustaz? I've been so lost, always getting cursed by my mom like that. So this question basically is asking that the questioner has a mom that occasionally will use this phrase of curse, where the mom says Allah will punish you whenever he or she makes any mistake. So this person is worried because of this issue, to the fact that it can be something that can be answered by Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala in the form of dua. This is what basically I understand from the question. So the first thing is, as a Muslim, as a son or as a daughter, it is wajib upon us, no matter what the situation is, whether our parents are believers or non-believers, whether our parents are people who have piety or the otherwise, whether our parents follow the commandments of Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala or does not follow, and so on and so forth. So the basic ruling in Islam, as children, it is wajib upon us to respect our parents. Wajib upon us to our best capacity, to our best ability, to speak with them with in a good way, to respect them, unless if they do something that is wrong, for example, or they do not believe in Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we cannot be executing their orders to perform the things that they want us to do, which clearly it is something that is not permissible in Islam. So the basis of the ruling pertaining to respect to our parents is that it is wajib upon us, compulsory upon us as Muslims, to respect our parents, no matter what the situation is, as long as they do not commit something that is against the commandments of Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala, or they commanded us to do something that is against the commandments of Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Other than that, it is wajib upon us as children to respect them and not to incur anything that can harm them, whether in terms of speech or in terms of actions. But if that so happens, then we have to ask for their forgiveness. So what I can understand from this question, at times there are certain mistakes that is done that makes the mother becomes angry, and the problem is when the mother is angry, the mother says that Allah will punish you. What we can do on our side is to advise our mothers, when situations cool down, when you have the time to speak to your mom, then it is important to tell your mom not to make such dua, because dua from parents at times are answerable from Allah Subhanahu. Allah will answer the dua of parents. So as parents, as a general ruling, we should be very careful of the things that we say, or the things that we ask Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala pertaining to our children. So it is not permissible for parents to curse the children, or to ask Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah will punish or Allah will curse. This is not permissible. Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned in the hadith to this meaning that Allah sent His mercy to parents who help any the children any to perform any good deeds. So as parents, any we cannot any become the reason that the bad things any happens any to our children because any of our mistakes, because any of our dua that we want something bad and to happen to them any as a punishment. Now this is not any permissible, and as parents any to make any dua. So as parents, this is the thing and we have to understand. Pertaining any to the children any who are facing any parents any like this, if you can advise any your parents, then you advise any your parents any in a nice way. When situation it comes down, then you tell any your parents that as a Muslim it is not permissible any for us any to make dua any for our children any like that, or to curse any our children, or to make dua something bad. What if any Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answer any those prayers? Their difficulty and we will turn back into the parents. And normally parents and love any their children. If they see their children any suffering, they will also feel hurt. So if Allah any were to answer any that kind of prayers, any the harm any will go back into them, and as parents any looking at their children any being punished any by Allah any, or yani in a situation any of difficulty. But sometimes when people are angry and they do not really ponder upon what any they are saying. There are certain things any that are said that are very, very dangerous and very, very what you call it in a way that can cause any harm any to people. But maybe any the person any who says any they do not any feel any importance any in anything any that they say. So these people any they need any of advice in reality. Parents any of this kind any are in need any advice and to learn any about this issue any pertaining any to our deen and with regards any to this particular thing. Otherwise any it is feared any that what you call it this kind any of prayers might any be answered, and if it falls any under the mistakes and they are done any from the children, or the children any does any a serious any offense, or in a way giving any harm any to the parents and so on, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answer any this kind any of dua any from the parents, and it becomes any a very any big any issue. But at the same time any as children we must understand that our role any is to respect them, is to say good things any to them, refrain any from anything any that can make them any angry. But if any parents any make dua, such a dua any for children, and the children any do not do anything wrong any, for example, the children any might not do something which the parents any feels that it is that the parents any wants any children any to do, but it turn out any that this thing any is not any something that is within any the scope any of the Sharia, meaning it is something that is ma'siyah, or something any that is a sin. Or the parents any wants any the children any to do certain things, and the children do not want to do, and she makes any this kind of dua. Now rest assured that inshallah any Allah any will not answer any this kind of dua. At the same time we must understand that Allah any is just. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just. So my advice to the person any who asks any this question is that whenever any you come into this situation, and after you have advised any your parents, and after you have tried any your best to obey your parents, at the same time make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ask Allah any to repel any this kind any of dua, in a sense that Allah does not make it come true, that Allah does not answer, because this is going to be an what you call it, cause any big problems any for the children. So we counter dua with dua. We counter any dua any with dua. Parents any make any dua, a false what you call it, a wrong any kind of dua any for the children, which is not encouraged in Islam, which is not encouraged by the Prophet ﷺ at all times. But the fact that it happened, we also make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness, that Allah forgive any our parents, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repel all forms any of calamities any from befalling us, any from all kinds any of punishments. So the way forward any is, as Muslims, again any let me summarize this, because now we are shifting into a temporary place, so khutbah, the second khutbah is on, sometimes sound. I am coming off like certain, at times any distracted any by some of these things. So let me summarize what basically the thing any that I want to say. Number one, it is wajib any upon Muslims, and no matter what the situation is, we try our best to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, obey our parents and in terms any of what is permissible, respect them, not any to increase any our voice, meaning maintain any our conversation any with respect with them, and refrain any from making them any angry. But if so happens and they are angry and they make such a dua, we make a counter dua. We make a counter dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because at the end of the day, it is Allah who answers any prayers, and Allah is just. Remember this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just. It doesn't mean that all dua you make any from parents and Allah will answer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just. If Allah sees goodness in the children and so on, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inshallah will repel all difficulties, all harms from us, if we are sincere and returning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asking Allah for His favors. Jadi soalan ini dia menanyakan seorang mempunyai ibu yang kadang-kala mendoakan supaya azab dikenakan kepada anaknya, maka anak menanyakan soalan macam mana keadaan sekarang. Jadi jawapan yang dibagi soalan ini adalah, pertama sekali kita sebagai anak wajib kita menghormati ibu bapa kita, wajib kita mendoakan mereka, berbaik dengan mereka, berbuat baik dengan mereka. Kalau sekiranya berlaku keadaan yang mana ibu mendoakan yang benda yang tak baik bagi kita, kita berdoa kepada Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Ini saya maksudkan dengan counter doa. Kita berdoa kepada Allah Subhanahu wa taala agar Allah tidak kabulkan. Yani kalau ibu mengatakan mudah-mudahan Allah, na'udzubillah min zalik, dia mengatakan Allah mengazab kamu. Cuba bayangkan ini, ibu mendoakan bagi anak begini. Haram dalam Islam, memang betul haram dalam Islam, dilarang oleh Nabi SAW. Ibu bapa tidak boleh mendoakan doa yang tidak baik bagi anak-anak mereka. Dan Allah memberikan pahala kepada ibu bapa kalau sekiranya dia mendoakan benda yang baik bagi anak-anak mereka. Sebagai ibu bapa, kita harus menjadi sebab kebaikan bagi anak-anak kita. Bantu anak-anak kita melakukan kebaikan. Bantu mereka supaya mereka mendapatkan rahmat daripada Allah. Bukan kita menjadi sebab ini anak-anak kita menjadi sebab ini mendapatkan azab ini daripada Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Dalam masa yang sama, kalau sekiranya ia berlaku, kita juga berdoa kepada Allah Subhanahu wa taala agar Allah menjaga kita daripada segala jenis musibah. Second question is asking, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh Ustaz. Wa alaikumussalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I have a troubling question that has a difference of opinions within our Asatizah. As a practitioner of the madhhab of the Shafi'i madhhab, when performing the Umrah Hajj, it is recommended by some to change the madhhab into the Hanafi madhhab, as it will be easier when accidentally touching non-mahram and therefore not breaking wudhu, whereas others say it is not required as it is based on your intention. Also, why only the Hanafi madhhab and not the Maliki or Hanbali madhhab? I would like to clarify on this issue. JazaakAllahu Khayr. Basically, question is asking that he or she is abiding by the Shafi'i madhhab, following the school of thought of the Shafi'i madhhab. So he is getting any opinions from various Asatizahs. Some Asatizah says that you have to do taqleed, in the sense that you have to follow the Hanafi madhhab when you are doing a tawaf. So when there is any touching of non-mahram and you don't have any to take wudhu, your wudhu is still valid in doing any tawaf. Some Asatizahs are saying that there's not any required to do so. And he is asking why Hanafi madhhab and not Maliki madhhab and Hanbali madhhab. طيب, this is an issue of taqleed and in fiqh. Taqleed and in fiqh is permissible and with condition. Is permissible in condition. Meaning, if you are following any particular madhhab, you are following any madhhab Imam Shafi'i, and Imam Shafi'i, for example, in his conditions of tawaf, tawaf, and he has regulation with wudu. So when you speak about conditions of tawaf, we have to speak about conditions of wudu because it is regulated. So in order for our tawaf to be valid in the madhhab Imam Shafi'i, our wudu also has to be within our madhhab of Imam Shafi'i. But now in the situation is we want to follow another opinion of the madhhab of other than the madhhab Imam Shafi'i in the issue of tawaf. Since it has a relation with wudu, so the condition must be that we have to be aware about the conditions of the ablution of the madhhab that we are following. So if it doesn't matter whether you are following the Hanafi madhhab or you are following the Maliki madhhab, because Hanafi madhhab says that the opinion of Imam Abu Hanifa, for example, that your wudu is still valid even though there is touching between non-mahram. Likewise, in the Maliki madhhab, there are some differences pertaining to whether there is shahwa or no shahwa. So you can have whether you want to follow the Hanafi madhhab or the Maliki madhhab. But what is important is that you must understand how to perform any ablution. That is the thing. If you are following the Hanafi madhhab, then you have to understand what is the difference between Hanafi madhhab and the madhhab Imam Shafi. If you are following the Maliki madhhab, you have to understand what is the difference between the wudu of Maliki madhhab and madhhab al-Imam, madhhab of al-Imam Shafi. Then only we do taqleed. Then we only we do taqleed. Otherwise, our taqleed is not valid if it is based on ignorance. And there is no such thing as I can follow whatever opinion that I want. No, it is not any permissible. Unless if you are learned in a sense that you understand the conditions of the madhhab that you are following. You have already studied the certain issues that you are following. If you are doing any tawaf, then you have to understand in wudhu. Likewise, if you are praying prayer, for example, if you are praying if you are performing any prayers, for example, and you are doing following the madhhab Imam Abu Hanifa in wudhu, for example, then you have to understand what are the integrals of the prayers in the madhhab Imam Abu Hanifa. So these are the things that we have to know before we do taqlid. So it doesn't matter whether you follow the Hanafi madhhab or the Maliki madhhab. Both of them are saying that the wudhu is not invalidated when there is touching of mahram. And there is a need, since there is a need. Now this is another thing. There is a need to the taqlid, not based on our desires, that we want to follow any opinion that we want. As for laymen, it is wajib to follow a particular madhhab, and so that our ibadah is valid. But in terms of emergency and so on, where there is difficulty and so on, Islam gives a way out. So we can follow any opinions. So it doesn't matter whether we follow the opinion of Hanafi madhhab or Maliki madhhab, but what is important is to understand the conditions of taqlid. There's no such thing as just intent to follow a particular madhhab. It doesn't work any like that. So it requires any knowledge, it requires for us to learn. That is why it is important for us to learn knowledge of fiqh properly from qualified teachers, not only by reading your books or asking any questions by on certain people that you meet, but this requires some effort. Soalan ini menanyakan seorang nak melakukan tawaf dan dia nak melakukan taklid. Kenapa mana satu mazhab kita nak ikut, dan adakah perlu kita ikut kepada lain mazhab ataupun tidak. Jadi soalan menanyakan berkenaan dengan seorang dia mendapat berbeza-beza pendapat daripada para asatizah. Apa yang hak adalah bila kita melakukan taklid dalam keadaan yang mana kita memerlukan kepada pendapat yang lain. Jadi kita harus memahami syarat-syarat taklid. Ulama-ulama kita membicarakan tentang syarat-syarat taklid. Bukan maksudnya kita boleh ikut, saya nak solat hari ini mazhab Hanafi, lepas itu dalam nikah saya nak ikut Maliki dan sebagainya. Bukan maksudnya saya boleh memilih begini dan begitu. Ini adalah perkara yang sangat bahaya sebab ia boleh membatalkan ibadat kita kalau kita tidak berjaga-jaga, sebab ibadat ini dia bersangkut paut dengan benda-benda yang lain. Solat bersangkut paut dengan wudhu. Kalau wudhu kita tidak sah, solat kita tidak sah. Kalau istinja kita tidak sah, solat kita tidak sah. Dan sebagainya. Kita tidak boleh mencampur adukkan pendapat mazhab begini dan begitu sebab dia ada kait mengait. Kalau kita tidak memahami kait mengait ini, dia boleh merosakkan ibadat kita. Itu sebab ulama kita mengharamkan kita melakukan talfiq. Talfiq ini maksudnya mengikut pendapat sesuka hati, ikut kepada akal masing-masing, dan kita bukan seorang mujtahid. Kita adalah muqallid. Kita bukan mujtahid mutlak seperti Imam Shafi'i yang boleh lihat kepada Quran dengan sunnah dan mengeluarkan hukum ahkam. Ini mujtahid mutlak sudah tidak wujud pada zaman ini. Yang ada adalah seorang mujtahid dan kembali kepada fatwa para mujtahid. Ini yang wujud hari ini. Jadi apabila kita berhadapan dengan keadaan seperti ini, maka kita kena faham syarat-syarat bila kita nak mengikut kepada pendapat lain disebabkan ada kait mengait satu dengan yang lain. Tawaf kait mengait dengan wudu, maka kita nak melakukan tawaf dan kita nak ikut kepada mazhab Abu Hanifa disebabkan kita tak nak batalkan wudu misalan, maka kita kena fahami syarat-syarat mazhab Hanafi dalam wudu. Sebab ini dekat main dengan tawaf. Kita tidak boleh hanya ikut kepada tawaf dan kita tidak mengikut kepada wudunya. Maka kalau kita masih berpegang kepada mazhab pendapat Imam Syafi'i dalam salat dan kita wudu pula cara mazhab Hanafi, maka ia boleh merosakkan salat kita sebab dalam salat dia kait mengait dengan syarat wudu dan taharah dan sebagainya. Jadi maksudnya di sini kita nak faham cara wudu mazhab Hanafi kalau kita ikut mazhab Hanafi. Kalau Maliki kita ikut syarat wudu Maliki. Ini dalam masalah tawaf. Assalamualaikum Ustaz, saya ingin bertanya, lagi 5 minggu isteri saya akan melahirkan anak pertama kami. Selalunya anak lelaki perlu diazankan selepas dilahirkan, tetapi anak kami perlu menerusi operasi terus selepas itu. Kemungkinan saya tidak dapat mengazankan. Selepas operasi dalam masa 10-14 hari, baru saya dapat jumpa anak saya. Jadi, saya mahu tanya, apakah saya harus lakukan? Soalan ini menanyakan dia akan dapat anak dan dia tidak boleh masuk dan menjumpa anaknya selama 14 hari. Dan bagaimana dengan adhan? Sebab disunatkan kita melakukan adhan bagi bayi yang baru melahirkan. Bagaimana dia nak melakukan adhan kalau sekiranya dia tidak dapat jumpa anak bayinya? maka azan itu dilakukan oleh isterinya. Isterinya yang ada. Kalau sekiranya isteri itu boleh bersama yakni bayi, bukan maksudnya ini lepas lahirkan terus isterinya azan. Kita tahulah ya keadaan seorang isteri bila dia baru melahirkan mungkin dalam keadaan. Tetapi selepas beberapa ketika yakni biasanya doktor akan memberikan kepadanya untuk dia menyusu dan sebagainya. Ini masanya dia azan. Jadi apabila bayi itu bersamanya, maka dia azan pada tangan kanan bayi tersebut dan dia melakukan iqamah ini pada pada telinga ya, azan pada telinga kanan, iqamat ini pada telinga kiri, dan dia boleh baca ini zikir dengan niat tahsin ini walaupun dalam keadaan nifas. Boleh dia membaca Al-Quranul Karim kalau sekiranya dengan niat tahsin ini untuk membaca bagi bayi, baca ayatul kursi bagi bayi, baca suratul Fatihah misalan. Ini dibolehkan. Ini dibolehkan dia melakukannya walaupun dalam keadaan nifas. Jadi apa yang sepatutnya dia melakukan adalah isteri tersebut ini dia melakukan kalau sekiranya dia dapat masa. Tapi kalau sekiranya tidak dapat jumpa bayi sama sekali ini misalnya, lepas melahirkan terus masuk operation ward ke dan sebagainya, maka kita on kita punya side kita boleh baca apa saja zikir. Kita baca dengan niat syifa, dengan niat Allah yang ini menjaga. Kita boleh baca Yasin, kita boleh baca Al-Quranul Karim dengan niat sedemikian. Wallahu a'lam bishawab. Ini disebabkan masa para jemaah sekalian. InsyaAllah kita akan sambung ini pada minggu yang akan datang. Jadi bagi mereka yang ada soalan, yang boleh menunjukkan soalan tersebut di website kami Masjid Khalid, website ini Masjid Khalid, dan ada form ini di situ. Jadi insya-Allah taala saya akan menjawabnya insya-Allah pada sesi-sesi seperti ini pada tiap-tiap minggu. Wassallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi washabihi wasallam.